Hi, Jones Panthers. It's Mrs. Montoya. Hey, I just wanted to take a few minutes and visit with you and just to let you know how much your teachers and I are missing you. We miss you so much and can't wait till we come back to school, and hopefully that'll be soon. But one of the things I'm missing most is seeing you in the mornings and getting to visit with you and then going to the gym for our read aloud and talking about our word for the week. So I thought I'd come on and read you a story, and we can kind of keep in touch that way. So hope you're doing well, hope you're reading at home, and I'm going to share a special book with you that I bought at our book fair. It's called A Letter to My Teacher. It's written by Deborah Hopkinson, and the pictures are by Nancy Carpenter. And as I read this story, I want you to think about what makes this story different from other stories that you read. And also, there's a word in there, and we'll call it our word for this book. It's exasperate. So as we read this book, listen for the context clues that tell you what exasperate means. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see. A letter to my teacher. Dear teacher, whenever I had something to tell you, I tugged on your shirt and whispered in your ear. This time, I'm writing a letter. I hope you remember me. I was the one who marched into school that first day, splashing through every puddle I could find. I wore a bright yellow raincoat and a dark, stormy frown, because for me, school meant sitting still and listening, two things I wasn't much good at. I stood there, ornery and dripping, just sure I'd get into trouble. But instead, you grinned at me. Good morning! Look at you, standing there like Mary Kingsley, just back from canoeing up the Oguyu River. Who? I said. Where? Mary Kingsley, the fearless explorer, you explained. Someday we'll read about her and crocodiles. Now get the mop. Crocodiles? After taking attendance, you made a big announcement. Welcome! This year we'll be planting the first ever second grade garden. It will be our great experiment. Yay! We get to dig in the mud, I shouted. True, but first we read about plants, you said. We'll use math to measure our plot, and we'll write our garden plan. Reading? Math? Writing? I was better at running and jumping. The next week we visited the creek behind the school to learn about plants and water. When you weren't watching, I started to hop the rocks. Right in the middle, I got stuck. Look at me! I'm Mary What's-Her-Name, I hollered, trying to sound brave. Watch out for crocodiles, you called back. Then you rushed to rescue me. On the way back, you held my hand and never told anyone how much I was shaking. All fall, I tried hard to sit still. Right before Thanksgiving vacation, you asked who wanted to take the Mouse Brothers home. Me! Pick me, I shouted. But while I was busy eating turkey, my cat Lucy ate one brother. I bought a replacement mouse, except I just couldn't tell you. One day, when we were cleaning their cage, you called me over to your desk and told me that we might have to change the brothers' names to Ma and Pa Mouse. You knew the whole time, I said. Laughing, you said, might as well get used to it. Teachers see everything. When winter came, the reading quarter became our secret garden of stories. On Friday afternoons, we all curled up in a heap to listen, just like our new litter of mice. I loved it when you read to us and always begged for more, but I hated being called on to read out loud. I kept tripping over words. Once, right before my turn, I yelled, "Raise your hand if you want to go home." Another time, I clutched my throat and I croaked, I lost my voice. Nothing fooled you, though. You called me to your desk and asked, "When we make our garden, do you think the seeds will grow right away?" "No," I said. "Everyone knows they need time and sun and water." "Well, learning to read takes time too," you said. "Now, I think you have a cat." I nodded. "Lucy, the one who likes mice." "I'd like you to read to Lucy every day," you suggested. "It might keep her out of trouble." I giggled. "Maybe I'll read her Puss in Boots." I practiced hard, and you gave me extra help too. One day you brought me a special book. I met a real author, and he autographed it just for you, you said. I looked at the cover and sounded out the words. "Wow, it's about her, that explorer, Mary Kingsley." You smiled. "Next week, you can share it with the class." In March, we explored our town. We went on a field trip to an old house. It was full of history and secret stairways. When I slipped away to look for hidden treasures in the root cellar, you and the whole class had to trudge down the old stone steps to find me. I think even you lost your patience that time. Exasperating was the word you used. I remember because that night my mom helped me look it up in the dictionary. The day you brought in seeds for us to choose, I tugged on your shirt. "Can we plant this kind? The packet says early spring. We can have bright red radishes in just a few weeks." "Good reading and great idea," you said. Thanks to the math games we played, measuring our garden patch was easy. At last, we turned over our soil and were ready to plant. I was the radish crew chief and read out the instructions all by myself. All spring, we weeded and watered and kept garden journals too. On the Friday before summer vacation, we wrote our invitations to every class to come enjoy the salad that we had grown ourselves. "Splendid spinach," said the principal. "It's because of the worms," I explained. I didn't know how to say thank you. So on the last day, I gave you a present, a memory quilt. I'd measured squares on paper and made the story of our year in each one. The reading corner, worms in our compost, the magnificent mouse family, and best of all, a picture of you and me. You looked at the quilt a long time. Then you held it up for everyone to see. Thank you. Now I'll never forget you all and the year of the second grade garden. Me neither, I promised, and I never have. For a long time now, I've been wanting to write to tell you that even though I didn't always listen, and I know I was exasperating, second grade really was the best year ever. So I guess you won't be too surprised to hear that I still like to stomp through creeks, dig in the garden, and even read out loud to my cat. Most of all, I want to tell you that I'm about to start my first job. And tomorrow morning, when I go to work, I'll think about everything you helped me explore and try my best to be just like you. Thank you for being my teacher. Signed, your student. And this is the picture of her when she was in second grade with her teacher. So what made this book special? This book was special to me because it was a letter that this person was writing. So she was thinking back to her second grade year, and she was writing a letter to her teacher to thank her, and she had grown up to be a teacher. So I told you there was a word in there to think about, and that word was exasperate. Do you remember hearing that word in there? Do you remember what it means? There was a context clue right as they were using that word, and it was about patience. She felt like her teacher ran out of patience a little bit. Teacher was a little bit frustrated. So that's what that word means, and we used our context clues to figure that out. I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. If you notice, I have my Jones shirt on, and boys and girls, your teachers and I love you. We miss you, and we can't wait to see you.